Good morning, Schema. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Clasonda Armstrong Grandison, the Director of Design at Alaska and Hawaiian Airlines. I actually am here to share an experience of us utilizing Figma, the power of variables and tokens, in order to recreate our design system. The story I'm about to share with you today comes after a merger that was announced last October between Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian. It was a merger of two airlines that were converging into one. However, there was a uniqueness about this merger. Yes, there have been other airline mergers, Delta and Northwest, as well as United and Continental, two that were pretty famous, to be exact. Both of those mergers ended up with both brands consuming into one. However, the Alaska and Hawaiian merger was one where both brand identities were going to need to remain the same. There was a commitment that was made by our CEO to maintain the look and feel, the integrity, and the brand equity of each of the brands as we moved forward customer-facing. The goal was to create a unified travel experience, giving our customers the ability to know what brand they were flying on, and also to show flight search results that commingled both brands in the results that were shown. This project started with deconstructing our design system. After we merged, we met with the Hawaiian team designers who joined our Alaska designer group, and then we looked at the components in the design system for each. We started with the brand analysis of the brand guidelines that were in place for both Hawaiian and Alaska. We saw some complementary colors, some that were pretty similar, and we knew we were going to have to take steps to make sure we maintained clarity in whatever we put in front of them. We also looked at our existing design components and understood ones that were working successfully and ones that needed to be improved. In this work, we teared apart the entire design system on both sides. In this work, we had to really double down and remove the emotion that's usually built up inside as a designer for some of the old designs that you may have crafted. We had to look at how can we really move forward with a look that will work well for both sides, but give clarity for each independent brand. Here you see on screen what our original designs looked like just before August, when the new homepage for Alaska launched, and October, when the new homepage for Hawaiian launched. Today, if you go to both sites, you'll see a website that looks a lot like what you see on screen right now, including our app ideation that had been done in October of 2024, was also included in how we evolved the look and feel. Our design system is called Oro Borealis. Our Oro tokens, we totally looked at the brand colors for both Alaska and Hawaiian. We put together brand colors for Alaska, Hawaiian, our new loyalty program, Atmos Rewards, as well as Atmos for Business. We also had to align colors that we knew were going to be used across all the brands, and they were set aside. These were colors that might be used in our flight brand product, or for notices like canceled flights or delayed flights. We did that work as well as looked at common things that needed to have colors to be used for your text and icons, your backgrounds, and things of that sort. Our Borealis components then incorporated a lot of the designs that we established and got us prepared to move forward. Part of this process was a lot of communication. We needed to first start with our designers. Our design system team huddled them close in several one-on-one groups, as well as larger shares, where they taught them the basics of how we would be utilizing the variables in Figma in order to set up the tokens that would maintain the work moving forward. We had to teach them exactly what all this was actually going to be like. Not only did we need to educate our designers, we also had to evangelize this direction with our leadership. I remember going to my VP and explaining to her, it's going to be as easy as flipping a switch. You'll be able to see one brand versus the other. Now, keep in mind, both websites have their own token sets, but they're on the same shared code base. So it's really important that they understood that that shared code base would still serve up a look and feel that belonged independently to each brand. Here's an example close-up of a side-by-side of both sites, the airline sites, that is. Here you see how the structure overall is the same. The components that we put in place, we made sure they were ones that would really showcase and highlight the product, the travel offering, so that our guests would still see the integrity of the brand equity of each travel experience that had existed and to see that it would be there moving forward. Here you're seeing the open search widget. Right now, this is what's up live on Alaska.com as well as HawaiianAirlines.com. You will soon see us close that widget and have a quick widget at the top that would allow you to start your search with and see a lot more of the personalized offerings. So there's plenty plans for how we're going to move this forward, but how we set up the tokens and the structure are really playing a role in what you're seeing guest-facing. We also worked on our Atmos Rewards website. It was a brand new offering that we were putting into place. We got new brand guidelines, but we also had to do the same variable token work here in order to understand how we could put together such a strong appearance in front of our guests. It was totally a part of the direction we needed to scratch our heads around as well. Overall, maintaining the core brand identity was the goal. To have two distinct brands that definitely showcase a seamless journey of one company moving forward. Unifying the digital experience without losing brand distinction was totally at the heart of the work that we did. Dual brand is what we had to master, not multi-brand. Dual brand, because unlike our other merged companies that are out there like Gap, where you may see Gap, Athleta, and other brands share separately their search results, our search results will be commingled. Guests will need to know what airline am I flying on for the vacation that I'm taking. We needed to make sure they knew what gate to go to and when. So the token hierarchy enabled us to be successful in this effort, as well as we worked for design consistency across all sites, with total focus user-centered on our guest. Here is an example of within Figma how using the tokens, our designers can very easily switch between brands. We even maintained the Alaska Classic brand just to make sure our designers were able to see the difference that we had strided for in updating the Alaska look and feel. We even included a blueprint opportunity for designers to be able to see their designs agnostic in black and white without having applied either of the brands as the final product. Brand distinction is definitely clear in our seat maps. This is one of the test areas that we looked at strongly to make sure the colors that we selected, the typography and styling, would be ideal for what we could use moving forward. The entire effort was strongly championed by our design team, but our design system team held the big mic for getting us all on board with what was needed. They got our product team on board, our engineering team on board, as well as continued to rally around what needed to be done to make sure our seamless product showed up as one brand versus the other whenever the flip was switched. Lessons and practical tips that I'd like to share for anyone who has similar work or is working on crafting or reconstructing their design system: definitely have empathy. Empathy for not only your guests and your users, but for your consumers, your product team, your engineering team. Get them on board for what exactly it is the task is at hand. Educate them for how Figma and the tools of utilizing variables within the software will help you to be successful in your goals. Get everybody on board with the craft of creating a strong, elevated brand experience, utilizing what you had in place, but be ready to make changes and shifts that will evolve your company's design. And culture, try to always maintain within any update the brand culture and the brand equity that your guests and customers know. That's what exactly we strived for throughout our entire experience. Definitely you need to utilize a lot of communication and integration across the board with all teams understanding what role they need to play in helping everything come together, and then constantly doing an evaluation on what you put out there to make sure it's something that's going to set you up for success. and being willing to make change as you see that it's needed. I'd like to thank Figma for inviting me to come out and share how their tool helped us to be successful. We launched our sites with an overwhelming round of applause from our customers so far, and we look forward to utilizing some of the new additional extensions that were announced today. I know it's not only going to empower my team, but everyone in this room and online as well. Thank you, Figma, for all you're doing to help us to be successful in all of our strides. And before I leave the stage, I definitely would like to thank my entire design team, our product and engineering team for their hard work in recrafting Alaska and Hawaiian Airlines digital channels. And a special thank you to Noelle Lansford of Shep. She joined our team, and she led the charge in helping us to redesign our design system. Thank you, everyone.